Oops.
Right hand on a computer mouse-shaped object that mapped my body's energy field. I then plugged the scanner into my computer. Once the scan was completed, in a few seconds, the software returned a graphical representation of any distortions in the body's information, as well as recommendations for therapy to stimulate the body's healing response and correct the noted distortions. The skin indicates what's going on underneath it. It has a magnetic quality, so wherever there is a blockage in energy flow or some other problem, the skin in that area becomes more magnetic or sticky, which the scanner detects. You then stimulate that area with a handheld biofeedback device called the My Health, which comes with the NES scanner. As you treat the area, the body's magnetic quality begins to change as it heals, and the scanner detects that change. Here's another way of looking at this. Cells have an electrical potential. Sick, tired, and malfunctioning cells have a low electrical potential, and this is what surfaces as magnetic or sticky quality on skin. By putting energy back into the problem area, the system can apparently raise the electrical potential of those cells, restoring them over time to their normal, optimal functioning. This also stimulates the nervous system, sending a signal to the brain to direct resources to that part of the body as part of the natural healing response. While this may seem like a modern bastardization of traditional acupuncture, I consider it to be one of the more potent biohacks I own for identifying issues with my vibrational frequency and electromagnetic field, and then fixing those issues with a targeted medical device. Tapping. Tapping, also known as Emotional Freedom Technique or EFT, is also somewhat similar to acupuncture. Acupuncture heals by stimulating the body's meridians and energy flows, but surprisingly, you can also stimulate these meridian points by tapping on them with your fingertips. No needles or trip to the acupuncturist required. Tapping has been shown to provide relief from chronic pain, emotional problems, disorders, addictions, phobias, post-traumatic stress disorder, and chronic diseases. For example, research done at Harvard Medical School during the last decade found that the brain's stress and fear responses, which are controlled by an almond-shaped part of your brain called the amygdala, can be downregulated by stimulating the meridian points. Although these studies focused on acupuncture and used needles, follow-up double-blind research revealed that stimulating the points through pressure, as in tapping, gives rise to a similar response. Other studies have shown tapping to reduce cortisol by up to 50%. Here's how tapping works. First, identify a problem on which you want to focus. It can be general anxiety, or it can be a specific situation or issue that causes you to feel anxious. Then compose a setup statement acknowledging the problem you want to deal with, such as, I feel very anxious right now.
Head.
That's tough. There we go. Oh man, Jesus. Like that thing.
anxious about my interview, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I'm feeling this anxiety about this relationship, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I'm having trouble sleeping, I deeply and completely accept myself. Then you begin tapping 5 to 7 times in each of these locations in this order. On the outer edge of the hand, the eyebrows, the side of the eyes, under the nose, under the chin, under the collarbone, under the arm, on top of the head. You then finish with a deep breath to clear the emotional dirt away. If you include EFT, acupuncture, and other energy healing methods, there's over 1,000 studies showing that energy healing is effective for an astounding number of health conditions. You can find a list of these studies on the National Institute for Integrative Healthcare website, NIIH.org. Mindfulness meditation. If I offered you a pill that could increase your levels of stem cells, lengthen your telomeres, dissolve beta-amyloid plaques in your brain, improve your memory and attention, boost serotonin, repair DNA, regulate inflammation, increase the strength of the immune system, repair skin, bone, cartilage, and muscle cells, increase growth hormone levels, and enhance the neural connections in your brain, would you take it? The fact is, such a priceless pill is free and backed by research. It's called mindfulness meditation. From holotropic breathwork to transcendental meditation to 2-hour-long chanting sessions, I've toyed around with just about every form of meditation that exists, save for the notorious 10-day silent meditation retreat known as Vipassana, which is on the bucket list, and I can tell you without a doubt that mindfulness meditation could not be simpler. You take a seat in a comfortable place, pay attention to your breath, and when your attention wanders, you return it to your breath. Even my boys, who are currently 10 years old, perform a style of this meditation for 15 to 20 minutes 1 to 2 times per week. Most often, they do it outdoors in a traditional Native American style sit spot, during which they mindfully observe with their eyes, ears, nose, and mouth the world around them, or inside our sauna, during which they focus their attention on a candle or an hourglass, both of which are fantastic tools to keep the mind from excessively wandering during meditation. The steps for mindfulness meditation are simple. 1. Take a seat on the floor, the ground, a chair, a meditation cushion, a park bench, or anything else on which you can sit comfortably for 5 to 45 minutes. 2. Straighten your upper body so that your head and shoulders comfortably rest on top of your vertebrae. 3. Let your hands drop onto the tops of your legs and lightly rest on your thighs. 4. Drop your chin a little bit and let your gaze fall gently downward. It helps to gently rest the tongue against the roof of the mouth. Your eyes can be open or closed. 5. If possible, breathe through your nose. Bring your attention to your breath and feel your breath, some say to follow your breath as it goes in and out. 6. Most likely, your attention will leave your breath and wander. Don't worry, there's no need to try hard to stop this from happening. When you notice your mind wandering, don't judge yourself or think you're failing. Instead, just gently return your attention to the breath. 7. Before making any physical adjustments, such as scratching an itch, pause for just a moment. Then, with intention, shift at a moment that you choose. This creates space between what you experience and what you choose to do. 8. When you're ready, gently lift your gaze. If your eyes are closed, you can now open them. Take a relaxed, focused moment and notice any sounds in the environment, how your body feels, any thoughts and emotions you have. After you've paused, simply move on and continue with your day. That's it. It's that easy. A final note. I found that the box breathing described in Chapter 3, 4 count in, 4 count hold, 4 count out, 4 count hold, is incredibly effective during this style of meditation. 2 other very impressive forms of guided mindfulness meditation that I've found to be highly beneficial are Dawson Church's Eco Meditation, available for free online, and Emily Fletcher's Ziva Technique. Visualization. In the book Getting Well Again, a step-by-step self-help guide to overcoming cancer for patients and their families, radiation oncologist Dr. O. Carl Simonton and his wife Stephanie Matthews Simonton, as trained psychologist, document how people can influence the disease process of cancer through healing their emotions. They provide example after example of how visualization prolongs life and improves quality of life in cancer patients, and in some cases aids in healing cancer altogether. Research backs this up. A host of studies connect visualization, often referred to as guided imagery, to improve mood and quality of life in cancer patients. But visualization doesn't just work for chronic diseases. It can also serve as a quick way to transform yourself out of stress into a higher level of energy vibration, which is normally the frequency at which cells oscillate within the human body. Visualization involves creating a detailed mental image of an attractive and peaceful environment. It is often paired with physical relaxation techniques such as progressive muscle relaxation, which involves tightening and relaxing every muscle in the body one by one. When visualization is paired with physical relaxation techniques like this, the aim is to associate the sensations of relaxation with a peaceful visual image so that future practice sessions with visualization will quickly bring back the physical sensations of relaxation. My collegiate tennis coach often used this strategy with us young, nervous players. As we lay on the floor of the tennis court, we would progressively relax our bodies while visualizing fluid serves and flawless ground strokes. Later, during match play, we could achieve the same level of relaxation without stopping to lie down on the court and do the actual physical relaxation technique, which could possibly have annoyed our opponents, I would imagine. Of course, the beauty of visualization is that it requires nothing more than your imagination and concentration. Here's a simple step-by-step pattern. 1. Find a quiet and calm space to make yourself comfortable. 2. Take a few slow, deep breaths in the center and calm yourself. 3. Close your eyes. 4. Imagine yourself in a beautiful place where everything is as you would feel like it, such as a beach, mountaintop, peaceful meadow, or forest. 5. Imagine yourself becoming calm and relaxed, smiling and feeling full of joy. 6. Focus on the sensory details of your scene to make it more vivid. For example, if you imagine the beach, spend time imagining the warmth of the sun on your skin, the smell of the ocean, seaweed and salt spray, the sound of the waves, wind, seagulls. 7. Remain within your scene for 5 to 10 minutes as you become more and more relaxed. 8. While relaxed, tell yourself that you can return to this place whenever you want or need to relax. 9. Open your eyes and rejoin the real world. You can find guided visualization audios for absolutely free on iTunes or YouTube. I often convert YouTube videos to audio using free online computers. One of my favorites is Yoga Nidra, which not only walks you through guided imagery in a relaxing setting, but can also bring you through an entire sleep cycle without you actually falling asleep. Since it was first developed by ancient sages in India, yoga has been accepted as an integral practice for restoring and elevating the energetic frequency of the body. The formal system of yoga teaches that all matter in the cosmos is a fabric of life. Because of this, if your intention is to send out as much positive energy as possible, one good place to start is by moving your body in a way that generates the type of energy you want to be sending. It turns out that research backs this up. When mindful, proper yoga is performed with focused breathwork in a formal meditative setting, in other words, not with goats and babies, and not drenched with sweat while your heart rate screams through the roof from a hot yoga practice, there can be a significant shift into relaxed, oscillating brainwave patterns and a downregulation of the sympathetic nervous system. I spend several minutes each day, usually during my morning stretch routine or while in the sauna, going through a few easy yoga flows borrowed from Hatha Yoga, one of the better forms of yoga for dropping into a meditative state. I visit a yoga class or follow along with a yoga DVD a few times a month, and once or twice a year, I attend more intensive yoga retreats for a deeper dive into this potent energy healing tool. Finally, for a more intense form of yoga that incorporates movement, dynamic breathing techniques, meditation, and chanting, try Kundalini Yoga. It's one of the more difficult but more energy-vibrating forms of yoga that I've learned. Spirituality and healing. In his book Unfinished, Believing is Only the Beginning, Rich Stearns presents the concept that there are three choices you can make about the story of your life. The first choice is to believe that there is no story, that, quote, everything we see and experience is totally random and without meaning. There is no truth. We're just a meaningless species on a meaningless planet in a meaningless universe. There is therefore no God and no real defining purpose to our lives. This idea prompts us to pursue happiness instead. Find peace in your insignificance. Just let your anxiety go. Learn to savor the likely truth that the sum total of human achievement won't even register in the grand scheme, so you might as well just enjoy whatever talents you have. Use them to make yourself and others happy. Set aside any desire to be great or outstanding. But, this has consequences for how we perceive right and wrong and how we treat each other. Well, what happens when your actions and decisions come into conflict? Since we're not just tiny flecks on talking meat, spinning in the same hodgepodge of unrewarding goo, there's really no such thing as right or wrong. So the only mechanism to resolve our disputes is force or power, survival of the fittest. If you really believe that human beings are no more than flecks of meat, then taking a human life has no more significance than picking a mushroom or squashing an ant, unquote. I don't know about you, but choice number one seems rather depressing to me. It's not what I want to teach my kids, or the story by which I live my own life. The second choice is to make up your own story, develop your own set of beliefs and values without expecting others to abide by them. People who make this choice, Rich says, don't believe in absolute truth, and they can be, quote, both monsters and saints. They could be drug dealers or human traffickers as easily as they could be homemakers or school teachers. Usually they share the fairly universal human goal, happiness. It's just that some pursue it through violence and crime, and others through hard work and education. Some even find it in helping their fellow man and being generous, unquote. But in the end, Rich says, these people are simply marking time. Quote, for 70 or 80 years, they move from one event to the next, like balls in a pinball machine, bouncing off bumpers with lights flashing, bells ringing all the way. They're busy racking up points and bonuses until the ball finally goes down the drain, the noises stop, and the lights go out. Game over, unquote. Because a world of everyone making up their own story creates great potential for chaos and entropy, I'm not a fan of choice number two either. And then there's the third option, to become part of a greater story. When you're part of a greater story, you have a purpose, a role to play. Without you, the story would not be the same. Rich writes, quote, doesn't it make sense that our story has an author? Doesn't it also follow that the same author, creator, gave life to each and every character in his story, to you and to me, and that he created each one of us with unique gifts, talents, and personalities, and that he placed us within his story in both space and time, unquote. Yes, Rich acknowledges, choosing to believe that you're part of a larger story and were created by its author requires a leap of faith. But he also says it's just common sense. Quote, doesn't it make more sense to believe that our story has an author than to believe that everything we see and experience is meaningless and without purpose? Unquote. And that third option, the choice to believe that we are living out an amazing, exciting, enchanting adventure and a magical story written for our lives, to me, that's a pretty dang good way to vibrate at a higher energy level. So what does all of this have to do with creating an unstoppable immune system? I like to think about this in the same way that the excellent book The Healing Code explains in great detail. Each of our sicknesses and diseases